Think so? Well, I was just hoping that they would be able to keep it there and play it, when they have museum open for visitors. My name is Sonia, S-O-N-J-A. It's Roger, R-O-G-R-I, and it's hyphenated with my married name, Maxon, M-A-X-S-O-N.
Just from down the street. They set it up like so. Is it? Just at the fire truck. Oh. I'll just...
ready to go? Now? Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Joshua James Heritage Day. Big events today. We have a parade starting down the street, but in the meantime, while we're waiting for them to pass the viewing stand, we have with us Joan Cellini, who is the chairman of the ecumenical service this morning. And I'd like to have Joan tell you a little bit about the song that was sung and the choir that was put together for this special event. Joan, welcome.
I feel like I'm on the Today Show. This is great, on location. This morning we had the whole Joshua James Heritage Day started off with an ecumenical prayer service that was in remembrance of the lifesavers of the past. And the descendants of the lifesavers were in the church. It was in the Hull Village Methodist Church where most of the worshipers were descendants of lifesavers, and the church was filled. It was wonderful. And we had an ecumenical choir used to sing in this town on a regular basis. And they resurrected this choir.
Now, how did you find these people?
Well, I didn't. Irene Rubicki, who sang with them, managed to get the group together, and they've been rehearsing for a couple of weeks, and there were about 15, I think, and they were wonderful men and women. They just filled the church with music, and the congregation joined in. And one of the best parts, you mentioned the song, I think it was, Gladys Means could tell you, it was Martha Berry, I believe, found in her ancestors' papers a letter that talked about Reverend Robert Uford, who had written a song, and it seems he wrote the song because he was here in the middle 1880s, and he saw two life-saving efforts done. He saw the lifesavers go out, he saw the boats capsizing, and he was so touched and so impressed by what he saw that he couldn't really get it out of his mind. And one day when he was with the young people in the church, all the words to the song just kind of came to him, and he wrote them down. And then several hours later, he went to the organ, and the music came the same way. And the choir learned the song.
How nice.
And it was beautiful, and the congregation sung with them, and it was just great.
Now, was there a cable program put together for this?
Reverend Ebersol, and I agree with him, we believed that the worship service was a private worship service and had requested that there not be cable coverage of it. And I think that gave people more of a sense of being able to be themselves and to pray.
Well, I understand now that there is a documentary of slides being put together and eventually will be put on tape for sale as a souvenir purchased from the museum. Is it possible that maybe the choir would sing the song as a part of that tape? I think it would be a real great idea.
That'd be a good idea. I think we should suggest it because they did a very good job. They worked very hard on it. And the descendants from the Joshua James who were at the service all had name tags on, and they've all gone to the beginning of the parade, and they're all riding in antique cars.
Oh, that's
and they'll
great.
be coming by in the parade. And many have come from out of state. There were people from Virginia and just Connecticut and different places who have come back to celebrate today. And everyone leaving the church was saying, what a wonderful way to start. What a great way
Well,
to
we certainly have got a marvelous day.
Well, we prayed for it this morning.
Oh, well, that answers it. Well, Joan, thank you for coming up. And while we're waiting for the first floats to come through, why don't I tell everybody...
Could I say one more thing?
Surely.
2 of the 3 children carrying the lead banner are my 2 grandchildren.
Oh, well,
So I just
certainly.
wanted to
Every
let people
grandmother
know
needs that plug.
Need to say that. Thank you.
Thanks, Joan. Well, let me tell you a little bit about what's happening today, because some of you are at home and you're going to be able to get out tonight for some of the festivities, and there's a lot going on today and tomorrow, and we don't want you to miss out. At noontime, at the Hull Lifesaving Museum, there will be a cake cut and served with ice cream for everybody, and I understand that the Admiral of the Coast Guard is going to come down to cut the cake himself. At 12:30 and lasting until 5 o'clock, there are several activities going on at the Hull Lifesaving Museum, so stroll down anytime during the day and enjoy. We have at 3:30 at the Hull Lifesaving Museum the Breeches Boy Rescue Demonstration. Some of you, I'm sure, really don't want to miss that. Hull's Kid Fest is at Mariners Park, and that's going to go on all day from noon to 4 o'clock, so there's lots of activities for the children as well. There's an art show at the public library, and our fire engines will be displayed at the village fire station. There's a guided walking tour from the village fire barn, and they're going to go through a lot of old homes up in the village area. You don't want to miss that. I understand some of them go back to 1650. The Coast Guard is open to the public today. You'll be able to go on their ships, go through the Coast Guard station, and familiarize yourself with the activities that go on up there. There's windsurfing this afternoon, and this evening at 5:30 there's a fish fry. It's being sponsored by the Saltwater Club, and tickets are $5. So don't cook tonight. Don't even light up the grill. Go on down to the fish fry and enjoy yourselves.
Poor redheaded people.
At Mariners Park tonight at 5:30, there's folk dancing, and I understand the Girl Scouts have done a lot of learning, and they're going to put on a demonstration, teach you how to do it, and try to get everybody involved. This is all free. The Oceanic Brass Quintet will be playing at Mariners Park tonight at 8 o'clock. And there's an illumination of Allerton Harbor, which has been put together by Francine Townsend. I understand that it's going to have something like 300 red flares lighting up Allerton Harbor. And then we will have a bagpipe demonstration by Paul Kisnan, who is the assistant librarian for the library. And tonight at the Saltwater Club at 9:15, there'll be a dance at the club and in the park itself, and that is free. And please, everybody come on down and have a good time. I see one float starting very soon, so I won't get into tomorrow's activities until a little bit later, but stay with us. We have in our view, of course, the lead car is a police motorcycle escort. And in a little bit, they'll just be before the reviewing stand. The Joshua James Life-Saving Band I can hear. Maybe you can hear it in the distance. It's exciting to be with everybody today. I can remember the parade we did a couple of years ago. We were down on the lower ground level. It's more exciting over here because you can really see in the distance what's coming. Lots of children, lots of balloons, cameras. The first of many ongoing parades, we hope. The motorcycle officer has passed the stand. And coming along are the Joshua James Lifesavers. Now, this parade has been broken into 4 divisions. This first division has been organized by Bill Twigg. The Joshua James Life-Saving Band. James himself, played by Johnny Leahy. On the truck being hauled by the Daly and Wanzer Company is a life-saving period vessel. Imagine going out in a vessel like this on the rocky waters to bring people in that had capsized in their own ships or gone down at sea. And of course, our U.S. Coast Guard color guard looking pretty bright and alert. A1. Judy? Oh my God. Don't they look smart? And members of our Lions Club. A member of the planning board, Nancy Burns, out there, representing the women's membership.
Oh, my God, I forgot about it.
The next float you see is the Alliance Club. There's Leo Pilichowski singing for everybody. And Mr. Trapp tugging along. Now look at these antique cars, ladies and gentlemen. I understand that the descendants of Joshua James are being escorted in these vehicles today. Isn't this great? The first car, the descendants of Joshua James. Look at these. They've come in from all over the country to help us celebrate today. Isn't this great? A Model T. Oh, there was supposed to be 10, but you know, as I look down the road, there's even more of them.
We had 50 people there.
No. Oh, you want to talk?
Yeah.
Okay, wait a minute. Let me introduce you. I have with me Judy Weirs right now. Look at the paddy wagon. And our police department should be taking pictures of that. Boy, we've come a long way.
We've had more than 50 descendants come here.
Isn't that amazing?
Some of them are from as far away as California, Texas, Georgia, New York State, Connecticut.
Oh, that's really exciting. Now, you expected maybe 10 vehicles. You certainly have more.
The descendants are riding in antique cars.
This is exciting.
They were so surprised and delighted when they found out they got to ride in these cars.
No kidding. I'd be excited if I could ride in one too. Isn't this great? I wonder what some of our children think of these vehicles.
Some of the descendants, of course, are teenagers, and they're getting a big kick out of it.
Well, this lady's certainly having fun with the horn. Aren't they great? I wish my own car ran as well as some of these. Boy, they certainly are classics, aren't they? Judy, while we've got a minute or two, is there anything else that you'd like to add about this portion of the parade?
One of these people is a fellow who grew up out at Lovell's Island. His father was a lighthouse keeper out here, and his friends kept telling him to write a book. He finally did. He's still driving past right now as one of Joshua James' descendants.
Wow, isn't that exciting? Is he going to be writing the book?
Well, anyway, he wrote the book.
Oh, he did write the
His
book.
name is Harold Jennings, and he's going to be down at the museum this afternoon autographing copies if anyone would like to buy one.
Do you have any idea what the price is, so people can bring it with them when they
they're
come?
hardcover, and they're $15.
Well, I mean, I'd hate for anybody to get down there, want to buy it, and not have enough loose change.
They're filled with pictures about the Boston Harbor.
Oh,
and
boy.
Lots of little stories. You know, he's a person that just talks anecdotes.
I think that's one I want to add to my collection. The band that you see coming down the street, or certainly can hear coming down the street, is the Tony Barry Marching Band. Marching is horrible, whatever that might be. I think we're soon to find out. More and more people are pouring to the roadside to see what's happening here. And I've had a lot of people coming in from out of town come to the grandstand today to find out what's going on, what's happening, and they're so thrilled that they chose to visit their friends and families this weekend so that they could participate in the activities. We have a young lady with us today whose name is Sonia Rodriguez Maxon. Now she's out along the fairway and she's taking pictures of the floats and the people, and these are going to be transferred to a VCR tape and later on will be sold as a souvenir, and you can be able to find it at the library, and I'm sorry, the museum itself. I hope you're watching at home because some of these are incredible. I don't know about horrible, ladies and gentlemen, but they are sure some funny. Again, they're known as the Coney Marching Band. Hi, Father. Oh, Father Butler from St. Mary's Parish has joined me. I think we have to wait until they leave us, Father, and nobody's going to hear you. Energy and everybody raise the flag. Mr. Barry is a Pied Piper. Just had an example of great leadership. Mr. Barry turns out to be the Pied Piper of not only the children, but the mothers themselves. And what enthusiasm in there. And here we have Paul Hilt and two of the bicycles that he has made. Paul frequents many of the parades in our general location. And while the vehicles from the National Guard are passing, I am going to be talking with Father Butler. From St. Mary's Parish. Father?
Oh, it's wonderful being here.
Did you order the stay for us?
Well, I sure hope it stays like that, huh?
Well, I'm sure if you had anything to do with it, the good Lord was listening.
Thanks. It's a great parade.
Isn't it?
Seeing everybody out.
It's exciting to see all the enthusiasm.
It sure is.
It's just an example of what lies ahead for the rest of the day.
A lot of people pull it together well. A lot of work goes into making this happen.
But it's always worthwhile when everybody gets out and enjoys.
To the credit of those who work so hard at it, really.
Well, I understand Judith Weirs was the chairman and Francine Townsend, the co-chairman of the festivities, and Bob Cochran did put the parade together, and I think he's done a fantastic job.
A lot of good organization.
Yeah.
Hard work.
Uncle Sam is following along after the National Guard here. Division 2, which starts with Uncle Sam, was put together by Ralph Fiore. And I guess Bob Cochran has done a great job in picking these 4 coordinators because it's so much easier to have everybody handle a section. Well, these ones sound a little bit louder than the antique cars anyway, don't they?
There's Uncle Sam.
There's Uncle Sam, and very 3 staunch, brave selectmen, I guess, with this heat.
Yeah.
Bill Ballone on the far side, Kathy Zacchio in the middle, and of course Jim Linville. Nice to be up here watching instead of walking. Thanks for coming up, Father. This is the Hull Bicentennial Commission float. Isn't this great? I recognize Carolyn McNeil and her children. And of course, Henry Daly. I haven't caught the other faces. But the children look great. The costumes are fantastic. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, listen to the bagpipes coming along. These are the Colonial Pipers, and directed by our own Father Crowley, who was a former CYO director. Joining me on the stand right now, the reviewing stand, is Dan Johnson from the library, and I'm sure he's excited about the happenings down at the library and the village area. Dan, I think if you just hold it and talk into it, you won't get hung up in the cord.
Yes, it's a very exciting time, Claudette. As you know, I'm very partial to bagpipe music, so I think I'll just wait 1 minute.
I'm playing it great. Wonderful.
Yeah, very nice.
And of course, Father Crowley was walking alongside. I hope everybody didn't realize it wasn't our own Father Crowley from the church, but our own Father Crowley having been a part of us at one time.
Yeah.
And of course, the next float is from the Hull News Weekly. Hi, kids. Dan, maybe you'd like to say a little bit while we have the South Weymouth Naval Air Station past the review stand.
It's a very exciting time for us, too, as the library building is 100 years old. We're very excited about that. We had a concert last night to commemorate that, and it also served as the kickoff to the Joshua James Day.
Yes, I saw it down there. It was really, really nice. I saw all the people gathered around, sitting down, and really enjoying it as a family affair. Right now, ladies and gentlemen, the tugboat Anne Marie was just presented by the Sunset Marina. And in front of us, we have a float from the Hull Garden Club. And the truck has been donated by the Delmonico. Miss Akers on the back, and I see Mrs. Noonan riding inside. And the Morris Brothers Good Times Dixieland Band. Listen. You like Dixieland music?
Yes.
I love it.
Very much. It's been a great parade. A lot of nice floats and bands.
A lot of hard work.
Yeah.
And the Hull Republican Town Committee on a float. I see that Mr. Grata, Paul Grata, has donated his vehicle for this one. Bill Robinson, member of the Hull Republican Town Committee. Looks like he was the only one brave enough to do the marching today. And here we have the Massachusetts 4x4 Association. Oh, Bruce Westcott from our our post office. Didn't recognize him.
A little bit different.
Well, here's one elephant that doesn't eat a lot of peanuts. He's handing them out to everybody. Peter Torgerson running for state representative. And representatives of Mr. Bryan from the U.S. Congress. Whoa, we have heard. Oh, here we have the 4x4. I would say, ladies and gentlemen, that the candidates that were representative were Republicans, because now we have the 4x4 association. This is really great. Oh, here's a little bit about the Massachusetts 4x4 Association. They have a club headquarters in Cohasset. They have a group about approximately men and women who are interested in 4x4 vehicles. So they're promoting the sport of four-wheeling in a safe and responsible way. Can't fight those horns, can we, huh? Division 3, which has been coordinated by Tom Godek, is coming along. Some of these vehicles are really great, aren't they? Boy, I could see any sports enthusiast drooling over them myself. See that gorgeous Dalmatian over there? Just love to see him up on the fire truck, wouldn't you? Looks like he belongs.
Yeah.
Oh, he's interested in the horses. Our Metropolitan Police are mounted on their horses. Maybe some of you have seen them along the beach this year. It's nice to see the visibility. How about those old muskets? That's the Hingham Militia. Representative Murray leading them. Looking very spiffy and sporty in her outfit today. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. The Hingham Militia. Young and old alike. Right to the youngest who is enjoying the ride in mother's arms. Family pioneers have come a long way, haven't they?
Yeah, they have.
I think if some of them knew about the conveniences of today, they would have held off being born.
I know.
This is an attractive float.
It is, yes.
Jack Conway, realtor. It's rather a small house for the contingency of children, though, don't you think? Huh?
It's about big enough for one person, that's it.
Nice dog house for the average husband, huh? This is great. Oh, and a pool in the backyard now, will you look at that? Isn't that great?
Whoops, watch out. Okay.
Well, this is, I think, what all the kids have been waiting for.
Oh, Thor.
Giant Thor.
The world's largest monster van. My goodness, they look like they have him on stilts. You need a ladder to get into that one. I think we'd need one of our fire trucks to help us get into this. Look at that.
Yes.
They must use a ladder to get into it.
I'm sure they do.
The Royal Cadet Drum and Bugle Corps, I guess, was a part of the militia, because I don't see them anywhere else. I guess that's part of the militia itself.
Yeah.
Time to pull out, Phil. Shoot.
Oh my goodness, there you go, the fire department to the rescue. Who says our boys don't respond in a time of need? They're there whenever you need them. Look at this. This is incredible, ladies and gentlemen. I said to the rest. Uh-huh. Isn't this something? Did they bring this down on a flatbed or anything?
No, I'm not sure. I know they had a police escort in from the town limits. But
great. I mean, could you just imagine the traffic pile up watching this come along the highway?
Sure, yeah. I guess they must have had a flatbed.
Here's a junior class float. Hull High celebrates the Joshua James Day. And the vehicle has been donated by Petroselli Construction. Hi, kids. Looking good.
Nice to see the kids put together a float.
Now, did they do these clown outfits themselves?
Probably.
Fantastic. All you have to do is give them an excuse to get out there, huh?
Yeah.
Great. Now this is the senior class float, and the truck's been donated by Joseph DeVito, and he's driving it, and his son's in his arms. Senior class float. There are Bear Cove Brigade antique fire truck.
These fire engines are going to be found at the fire.
These fire engines will be down at the village fire station. Come down today, look at them. They're fantastic. I wonder what the firemen of today think about the equipment they used back then.
Not quite up to what the fire department has today, but I'm sure in its day it was the first class
I'm
equipment.
sure. Oh, look at this one. Shiny and sparkling. Look at the chrome on this. Isn't it fantastic?
Someone spent quite a bit of time shining up the chrome.
Sure did. Fit and polish. Aha, the Richardson Insurance Little Leaguers. Hi guys, truck donated by Stanley Gold, local carpenter and builder. Oh, Selectman John Silver got to ride with his Little League. Wasn't that clever?
And here's another Little League team.
Truvia Construction with another Little League team. Tom Sullivan, one of our local firemen. Coach.
And here's a third team.
And a third team on our police vehicle, and our own police officer,
Officer Bowes.
Dick Bowes. I couldn't see who he was till he turned around. That's the police station group. And here's the fire department's Little League group. Do not recognize their coach, do you?
Sorry, I know. And here's one last truck.
Look at this. Huh? That's fantastic.
The highway department's float.
That's the highway department's vehicle, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I don't want you to think that they're running around town daily working out of this vehicle, but I think it's absolutely fantastic that it was put in the parade. The next float you're going to see is one of our local school buses, and it's been provided by the Ryder Transportation Company responsible for taking our children to and from school every day, and I see it being driven by Pat Twig. And our student driver vehicle used for transportation of students to other schools other than our own for their special education. They have, well, let me tell you a little bit about that after this band passes. Isn't this great?
Yeah.
This is Division 4 put together by Charlie Kern, the division coordinator. This is your Civil Air Patrol. And you're going to see some of these kids in fatigues walking around with walkie-talkies. They are assisting people with directions and parking. And there are shuttle buses available. So if you're in one area of town and you have to get to your car, just go to one of these children in fatigue. They will radio and get a shuttle bus to bring you wherever you have to go. Tell you before the band came by was that Howell has, for the second year in a row, won honors for safety transportation of its students, and I think that says a lot for the company and for our school committee for making sure they're dealing with the best.
And here comes our fire chief, Nick Russo, in his car.
And his co-guy. Sounds like the chief is having a ball with us one today. Oh, they do have a Dalmatian on the truck. When they don't have to feed.
The best kind.
Oh, and it has a couple of pups, too.
Yeah.
Driven by Fireman Bugle.
Very nice float.
And putting out cigarette fires, I guess you're saying along here. Ladies and gentlemen, these enthusiastic ladies are the wives of some of our firemen. Look like they're having a great time, too. And the children behind, obviously, the offspring of some of our firemen. Look at the costumes, boy, they really put some thought into it. Having a great time. Our own very special Howie Ladder #1. Now, this is really horn-blowing day. Truck, which is a cherished possession of the Fleck family and representative of our Knights of Columbus riding, Grand Knight Mr. Guerrero. And this is the Pratt Ansel fire truck from Cohasset.
1953 vehicle.
Uh-huh.
And you can see it was a very solid piece of equipment.
It certainly is. Can you tell me something about the children?
I assume they're probably children of the Cohasset Fire Department.
The little hats indicate that they're tied in some respects. Friends of the Marching Pirates float, and then we're going to have the honor of seeing the marching band perform. It is really great to see the Pirates come back for a reunion for an occasion such as this. And I hope with all the future parades we can keep bringing them back.
It'll be very nice. It's a very nice time in our history when we have the Marching Pirates. It's amazing to bring them all back
and then have them perform together so well as if they've never been apart.
No.
Look at this. Our marching pirates were nationally and internationally known for their competition. Look at that. This band has been to Washington, D.C., Texas, Florida, and Canada. During their 10 years of existence, they traveled throughout this country and won all kinds of honors. Our own Bob Cochran put the parade together, performing with the group. George Mr. Cochran was very responsive for the marching pirates. Hours of training and dedication. Isn't it great to be up here where we can see it all?
It's great, yeah.
Charlie Kern was the division coordinator for the fly segment of the parade. In case I didn't mention it before, and I think I've even seen it in the band. Absolutely great. Imagine them pulling them all together and getting this organized.
Quite a job. I know Bob worked very hard.
He sure did.
All the kids, too.
And coming to the front is Bob himself.
I'm the oldest alumni. I have to ask you a favor first. Could you all please get as far back as you want? People have died from what the rifles have done to them, so stay back. You've got to get back. Get back as far as you can.
That sounds a little threatening. If anybody's going to get hit with one, I am.
Anyone trying to pick any equipment up, they drop it. Now,
I wish I could see some of the faces, but the hats are pulled down. I don't recognize so
the
many.
marching pirates are proud to be part of Hall's heritage. Hall has done a lot for us, and we hope that we've done something for them. Some of our heritage is no longer with us. For some people that can no longer be here, we'd like to dedicate this short performance. Those people, and I have to look so I won't forget anyone. We have members, Everett Campbell and Deborah Wall, who now reside in the Rainbow. We also have friends of the marching pirates residing with them. So I won't forget anyone, and if I do, forgive me. Friends of the marching pirates are no longer with us, but we know are watching us now. Rita and Joe Shalafo, Mrs. George Dixon, who just recently passed away, Peter Janimus, Mike Foreman, Rita McNamee, Muriel White, and if I forgot anyone else other than my father and brother, Joe and Dave Cochran, I'm sorry. Ladies and gentlemen, this is for our heritage, the people we grew up with. We hope you enjoy it. There are alumni here from as long ago as 1975 and as recently as 1984. All what you see was prepared in 3 practices. This is how good these kids are. As you count me as the oldest alumni, that's a lot older. But 3 practices, Sometimes the sequence will look a little funny in some of the things they do because it's practice for a parade. I hope you enjoy it. Bear with us. This is practicing 10 years away.
For those of you who may not have heard that, the alumni that have come back to perform for you today go back as long as 10 years ago. So, and they've had 3 practice events to get prepared for today. Everybody was remembering the days of yesteryear and the wonderful performances we used to enjoy, the pride we always had when they came back. Absolutely wonderful. They say you never appreciate what you have until you don't have it, and then it comes back and you can... Also proves you never forget. Isn't it wonderful? Oh, I made a mistake earlier. I guess it was Charles Kern Sr. that organized this section because Charles Jr. was in the band itself. Wrap up by our police department. And a couple of more floats. Or are these repeaters that have gone around the block? I think they're new. They're letting us know they're number 1, but I can't see their names. The Abbott Hull 1988 Little League champs. Hi, guys. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it, the Joshua James Heritage Parade. And let me take a few minutes to tell you about what's happening tomorrow. Tomorrow, there's a pancake and sausage breakfast down at Mariners Park under the tent. It's being sponsored by the Chamber of Commerce, and I understand the tickets are $3. So when you leave your church festivities, or if you go today and you just want to roam on down there tomorrow and not have to cook in the morning, sounds good to me.
Yeah.
$3 for pancakes and sausages. Then at noontime, it's the first annual South Shore Chowderfest, and it's been put together by Jake Seafood. Now, we've all been down there. We know what Jake does. The O'Briens are fantastic. Those tickets are $2, and you'll be able to participate in the Chowderfest from 12 noon till 5 o'clock, so don't miss out on that. The row around Hull start at the boathouse at Pendleton Point at 12 o'clock noon. Then there's a helicopter rescue demonstration by the Coast Guard out in Pemberton Bay at 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock. Now, I've seen this happen when they were basically just training. In fact, I thought they were doing a rescue once, and I almost died when I looked out my window. This is a fantastic thing to see, and nobody should miss it. The antique fire trucks will be down at the Village Fire Station, as we told you before.
Can I add something
Yes,
about
you
the
certainly
boat?
can.
I just wanted to mention a couple of the boats that are coming into the Coast Guard station. Claudette, have you already told them about the tickets?
No, I was hoping to get you back up here so we could do some wrap-up, go over more of your events. So please, you have the privilege of that one.
Well, the Coast Guard are bringing down 2 large, approximately 100-foot ships that they use. One is a cutter, and that goes out on the ocean. The others are buoy tender, big black ships.
Aha. Now we know what you look like, a big flagship.
But in addition to those, and the regular Coast Guard boats that they use, the 44-footers and so forth, will be there for the public. The public can go on these big ships, by the way.
I kind of told them that.
But in addition to that, there's a very special smaller boat. It's a 36-foot boat. This particular one is called the 36-500. And it was used in a rescue off of Cape Cod in 1952, the rescue of the Pendleton. There were 2 ships went down in the area of Chatham. One of them kept radio contact with Chatham and was rescued in a fairly normal, considering it was the middle of a gale style. But this one got one message through to the Chatham Coast Guard. And there was a fellow named Bernie Weber who was a coxswain in charge that night, and he said, we're going out after them. The boat had, this is a big tanker, it had literally broken in 2. The middle was hit the bottom.
Okay.
And Bernie took the 36-500, a boat that can turn over. It's built with a really heavy keel, so it can turn and right itself. And a small crew of men, they headed out from Chatham. To get out of the harbor, you have to go through the mouth of the harbor, and there's a bar, sandbar underneath. Going through that, they had to go through a 60-foot wave, which just crashed the boat. They lost their compass.
Oh, wow.
And however, they found the boat. God, instinct, whatever. They got to where the Pendleton was. I think when they got close, an obstacle changes the sound. And they found the ship. Almost all of the people were alive and were at the stern,
which was at this point sticking up out of the water. The propellers and so forth were out of the water. There was a man on there who helped everyone off the ship. They put a long, one of those flappy type ladders, a long ladder down. This little tiny boat and this huge ship. Long ladder down, and he helped each of those 30 crew members off and into this tiny boat.
Wow.
That fellow, he was the last man, just as he was about to reach safety, fell. He lost his life.
Oh, Judy.
But everybody else made it back to shore safely. The crew of that boat earned gold Congressional Life-Saving Medals, a very rare thing that happened.
I think we'd all agree they deserved them.
They deserved them. Hull's life-saving crew in the 1888 storm here had earned gold Congressional Life-Saving Medals, and there were a couple of other rescues where that happened. But this was an amazing rescue. And that boat, we went down, we saw it in the National Park Service when we were looking at another boat about, 10 years ago. We looked at it and said, that's interesting, but my, what a lot of work it would take to put that in shape. 2 years later, the Orleans Historical Society had it restored, not just to look pretty, but it operates.
But to perform.
It came up here under its own power, and it's docked down at the Point Allerton Coast Guard Station. It's not a boat you can go on. It's not big.
Yeah.
But I really invite people
It's a boat that you'd like to get on if you ever capsize, though.
Yes, right. That's the place to be. And I'd really like to invite people to come and take a look at it.
I certainly plan on being down there.
Real handsome, call it an antique because it's not the same style of boat that they use these days. I just wanted people to know the story.
Well, Judy, you have done a wonderful job with this whole event. I know that Bob Cochran and his coordinators did work on the parade, but
I've got to tell you something. I knew that today I'd be useless.
But today you can enjoy the fruits of your work.
And I just figured out that that's how this whole thing had to operate. I've done about this little piece of it. What we did, we just handed out if a job needed doing, I knew I had to find somebody else besides me to do it.
That's the way to make it successful, though.
And there are over 100 people, well over 100 people who have worked on putting this together. Bob Corcoran is a master of parades. This parade, we were sitting Thursday working out every detail of this little performance that people, with Don Brooker, the police chief, so that there was radio contact down to the other end. They knew when to stop. Bob just had it down to the littlest detail. I
think it's amazing that they would all come together and after 3 rehearsals be so in tune to each other after all this. I guess you just never forget what you've done.
Yeah. I have to go cut a birthday cake. So
I thought the Admiral was cutting the birthday cake.
I'm going to be there to introduce the Admiral to cut the cake.
Jill, enjoy your day and your weekend. You've done a fantastic job.
Thanks very much.
Bye-bye, Judy.
Bye-bye.
And while I still have you, ladies and gentlemen, I hope I still have your attention. Bob Cochran has asked me to thank Ann Lucia, Jeannie Wall, Barbara White, Barbara Goulart, Susan White, Joan Charlene, Cyril Kern, Sandy and Leo Parks, Tom Godak, Bill and Pat Twigg, Ralph Fiore, Joan Connors, Fran Hall, Sharon McNamee, Carol Maris, Nancy Dunn, Ann Kinnear, and Lieutenant John Jans. They have helped him put this parade together, and he wanted them to get a special note of thanks. And I thank all of you for being with us, and I'm going home and watch the tape replay. Bye, ladies and gentlemen.